Good morning. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday. Thank you so very much for tuning in to the AskZena radio show. Hey, I am your host, and thank you for listening to the Good News radio station. You know, you can check out all of our other shows, and we also have Good News Sports. Woohoo! It's Wednesday. I wasn't here last week. Don't have any excuses. Just keeping it real. I wasn't here last week. I don't even know what was going on. Have a lot going on, so that's probably was the problem. But thank you so very much for tuning in and listening to me. I encourage you to listen to all of my other shows. Just download the app. Stay in touch. Stay in tune. Check out what we've got going on. So I am your host, AskZena, and I have a special guest today to talk about some opportunities. But let me just talk about a couple of things, because you know I like to rant in the morning. So recently I've been helping, you know, I'm a life coach, career coach, and spiritual coach. And so I've been helping a lot of people through some transitions of some very difficult times, whether it's relationships, finance, or career. And we have had some success, and we've had some aha moments. And you know that I did some inner child work just recently in San Pedro. But I wanted to tell you today, this post, I had to create this post on my drive, which is 2 hours to get here. I had to post this today because so often we take away all the goodness that is supposed to come to us because we don't listen. And when we don't listen, we're listening to other stuff and we're creating stuff in our mind. Hey, if this is your first time with me, AskZena, on the Good News radio station, you know I am all about motivation, inspiration, creation, and manifestation. All of those Asians, hey! But I decided to create this post, and it says, I don't memorialize people or situations in my mind by talking about them over and over again. It's like fertilizing weeds. I prefer to have a space for all the goodness that is coming to me so that I can grow. That's pretty much what it is. But, you know, I was talking to some people, and they were just going on and on and on and on and on. And you know, your words are so powerful. Your words are mighty. Right? Because if it's coming out your mouth, then it's resonating in your mind. And if it's resonating in your mind, it was in your soul at some time. So I am just asking you guys not to memorialize breakups, getting fired, losing a job. Look at the opportunity that they brought to you and move on. Like, stop carrying around all of this weight of all of this stuff. Okay. That was AskZena today. That was me just sharing and giving you a little bit of me today, speaking life into your life so that you can have a life, so that you can live abundantly, whatever that means to you. Whether it's 100-aire, 1,000-aire, millionaire. We were just talking about the lottery. I prefer to have or be a millionaire so that I can help so many more people, right? So it's not just for me to buy things or live extravagantly, although I do like to live nicely. Anywho, that is me. Couple of just announcements. Just wanted to share that I am still looking for women who want to share their story, who want to be part of a vow, which is my women's group, which is called it's a vow. It's Authentic Voices of Women. We meet in Redondo Beach. We're going to meet in Redondo Beach on the 19th in the morning at the Great Room, and I'm inviting you to come on out. Please reach out to me at coach.askzena@gmail.com if you want to share your story. It's not just for you just to be sharing your story with other women, but we have been transformed and healed through other women's stories. And so I am very, very transparent about my story, and I know that it has helped many people. So I ask other women to do the same so that you can heal and heal others. We are also going to be in San Pedro again. We're actually filming a vow for a sizzle reel, and I'm not going to go with a network. Did have an opportunity to go with one of the local networks here, but I'm actually going to do a web series on a vow and your authentic voice as a woman. So, hey, fellas, hold on. We're going to be doing something for you as well. So we're going to be sitting down talking. I know men don't want to talk about their emotions, but it's not so much emotions. It's how do we exist with each other? It's what are some of the triggers? What are some of the past things? What are some of those things that happen in relationships that are like holding you back from current relationships or future relationships? What are those triggers? What are those deal breakers that you can't deal with in a person, in a situation? And also remember, I am always here to be your career coach. With that, I segue into our guest. Woohoo! Yes, 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 yes. So, I want to talk about this organization, and I want to give some history. We're going to have some. We're going to have someone jump on out. Hold on a second. Okay. We're going to have someone jump on out, and we are going to talk about opportunities for minorities in the LA community. We have a special guest, Gerald Durant. Hey, Gerald. Hello.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Um, Gerald actually is a firefighter and has, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him because it's just amazing. I cannot read his whole bio because it will take up so much time. But he's been in the fire department, LA Fire Department, for 29 years, and he has been a public safety rescue diver for 23 years. He is the president of, let me see if I can pronounce it right, the Stentorians.
Yes.
Oh,
Stentorians.
I've been practicing that. I have a little bit of a lisp, so sometimes when people say when I say the ST, it doesn't come out right. So, it is a local organization. It's city and it's county, and they work with youth, and they work with individuals, and they work with minorities to help them get a job in the fire department. Now, I just want to stop and just say a couple of things about the fire department. And Gerald, you and I talked about this when we met. I know a lot of people, we have millennials that are listening. We have other people who are thinking, fire department, that's not a sexy job. That's not, a job for the times that we're in with social media people and people becoming Instagram models with no experience or social media millionaires and all of this. I want to talk about the community. Okay. A lot of us are doing so many different things. I want to talk about the community because people have forgotten about the fire department, and it exists. It has to exist. It exists 24/7 all year round, and we need these individuals in our community. They help to support our community and save lives. And so that's why we're here talking about that today, because it is a valuable service that we need to get back and focus on. And we need to talk about how we can bring people in the community and see these as viable opportunities for employment, to sustain your lifestyle, and to grow as an individual. So don't just think about, when I talk to people at career events, and I was at a career event the other day, and it's like they want the sexy jobs, they want the producer jobs, they want the social media jobs, they want to do all of these things. We still need people serving our community. Right, Gerald?
Absolutely. We need them.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your programs.
So we're with the Stentorians, is African American Fire Service. The Stentorians was actually put together about 65 years ago
Wow.
when there was segregation in the fire department. So the men got together and they formed an organization to battle segregation. I mean, in 1954 and in the 60s, civil rights was the movement. People wanted equal rights, and this is why the organization was put together. So for us that are here today, we stand on their shoulders, and we are always indebted to them for the path that they cut for us to be where we are.
Wow.
When we talk about civil service job like the fire service, what we have to understand is that it will meet your basic needs for life. You're going to have food, shelter, and clothing for a life. And if you are not a gambler, this is the job for you. This is a job that'll settle your family down, settle you down, and actually provide for you for the rest of your life and give your family a good opportunity to be successful.
And also, you're serving your community and you're helping. So you're rescuing a cat from the tree, but then you're rescuing individuals, and you're saving lives, and you're helping people to um, from fires and from all other tragedies and other things that are going on. But you are there as part of the community, and that's what I really wanted to help people understand, because we're moving in a society, we're moving in a world. A government is showing us that it's all about me, 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 and I'm always about giving back and being of service. And I never really thought about the fire department. I really didn't until we actually had a conversation, and I'm just a little bit too old to be in there. But being a part of service is huge for me. And if you want to change your life, if you want to help another life, if you want to be really proud of what it is that you do, you need to check out these opportunities. I mean, it's just not just about going out there and fighting a fire. Gerald, tell us about some of the experiences that people have.
Well, first of all, the fire service, there is a lot that you'll be asked to do. Getting up in the middle of the night, going to help somebody. But if you think about it as neighborly, if your neighbor that you've lived next door for years and years, and known their children, the rest of their family, invited over for Thanksgiving dinner, you share gifts when you return from trips, it's about being a neighbor. And I think the main thing, you want to be there for your neighbors. And if you look at on the fire service, and the way I kind of look at it is that once you become a firefighter for the city of Los Angeles, now you have 4 million plus, 4 million.3 neighbors. Your backyard is about 475 square miles. You're responsible for a lot of people. You're their big brother. And in a sense, you want them to call you when they're in need. Because eventually, you might have to call somebody when you're in need as well. Firefighters definitely have to get on the phone sometimes and call 911 for themselves or for their parents or for other people. So when you think about community service, you're thinking about touching a lot of folks. And when you touch those folks, you're actually touching yourself as well. When you go out and share your life skills, your life experience with other people, basically, like Michael Jackson said, is the man in the mirror, the girl in the mirror. And that's what we have to think about when we're out here every single day. It's about helping people help themselves sometimes. And sometimes you're teaching people how to help themselves. You're teaching some things that'll help them survive during an earthquake or a fire or something like that. It's not always running in for a rescue every time somebody calls 911. So we get engaged with the community. We try to teach the community, help them with CPR, compression-only CPR. Sometimes with the youth, we're teaching them what to do when you do call 911. How can we affect your future? And sometimes there's a lot of life skills that go involved with that. People have to have value. Children have to have value. Youth have to have value. So with them and us, if we can create value in their life, I think they make valuable decisions. And the decisions will probably be the ones that are not the hippest decisions, but they're the straight and narrow decisions that make them successful in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have been experiencing a lot of flooding, and I think the first time I live south, and so I remember seeing a picture of the 405 being flooded all the way to almost to the I guess where they have the bus or the train or whatever. And I've never seen that. My family's from New Orleans, and, we saw Katrina, and we know people who experience severe flooding. But we're starting to experience that here in L.A., and I just want to talk about the safety rescue that you do as a diver, and that one of the things that I remember about that flood was I was watching it on television, and so many people were just so quick to get their phones out, not realizing that there were people driving into, I guess it was the 110. Sorry, it was the 110 freeway going south towards going north towards the 405, and it flooded. And there were people who were driving in, and we're so quick to pick up our telephone to video something. Let's start rescuing people. Let's start helping people. Let's start making people more aware. And I saw it because I'm just a reflective person. I just saw that as wow, people need to do something. There was a woman in a car. Remember that, watching that. And so, can you talk to us a little bit about the safety rescue and the diver piece? I mean, you have 23 years of experience and you have certifications. And what does that look like in LA County? Because I think that we just think of fires, but we need to think about floods as well.
Being a rescue diver, I worked on one of the fireboats in the San Pedro, LA Harbor. And basically on the fireboats, even though your title is a rescue diver, you still have other things that you have to do. You're a firefighter, you're a deckhand, you're a boat driver, you're a radio operator. All these things go into effect when you have something happening that in a place that you're on the water. So it's unstable as far as standing. There's a lot of little intricacies you have to kind of put together. But when people dealing with water, sometimes they don't understand how powerful water is.
Yes.
If moving water, if it's moving at a certain speed, you're not going to be able to swim against that water. The water's going to take you away. So if the water's taking you away, what kind of position do you want your body in? Most of the time, if you're going downstream or down current, you want your feet first and your head back towards the being pushed by the current. This way it gives you the cushion of having your legs in the right spot. So if you do hit something, you don't hit it with your head. Little things like that. And knowing how to inflate your lungs to have more floating capacity. Most folks, when they get in water and they're not comfortable with water, they panic. When you panic, you sink. When you sink, you panic more. Now you're out of breath. So you have to really try to maintain yourself. I think in the summer times when it gets warm, if you can go to a swim class and learn some survival, it'll help. Listen to the news. Be cautious when it's raining and you have some moving water. Sometimes the moving water doesn't look as deep as it should be, and you'll drive your car in there, and your car stops, and then now your car is floating. There's a lot of things that go involved with any type of water rescue. The main thing for us is that we would try to help them rescue themselves. Either if we're getting close to them and we're in the water as well, and they start swimming towards us, we will swim back to the safe zone. This means that they're not going to grab us and hold on to us and get on our heads. And when that happens, any lifeguard will know you're going to take them underwater where they don't want to be. So that's one of the things that you have to do to protect yourself as a rescue as well. Or we'll throw them a flotation device. If we throw them a flotation device with a line on it, they can hold on to it. We can pull them to our swim step, and we can help them on board. So there's a lot of little things you have to do, and I think what people have to understand is they got to get out the comfort zone, learn a little bit about swimming. Okay, go to that YMC class, go to that pool, take your kids there, teach them at a young age so they're not afraid of the water. And before you go into the ocean, look to see if the ocean is inviting you. If the water's too rough, it's telling you you need to stay out.
Good point. Good point. You know, one of the things that you said is, we don't realize how deep the water is, and water is very powerful. It could just be, a foot of water, and it could take your car in a completely different direction. So I wanted to talk about the diversity and just share with people, for my audience and for my listeners, just the diversity of this opportunity that's before them that we're going to talk about. Can we talk about some of the youth and what you guys do in the community?
So we're directly involved in a couple of youth programs. One, recently, Dorsey High has become a magnet school for fire and rescue. So 2021, if you are looking for your child to be in a program, which starts in the 9th grade, or they can come to the school in any grade, but they can start putting in applications. They can go online and look at Dorsey High, and you see that you can request your child to go to the magnet school for the fire and rescue program. It's our 3rd year. The first 2 years was very interesting, getting everything on board, but now things are moving along a little bit quicker. And the other one is the Metro Youth Academy. The Metro Youth Academy is run by Los Angeles City Fire Department. There's a couple of them that they have. The one that I'm closely worked with is called the Metro Youth Academy. That's 1700 Stadium Way It's our training center. And right now, the program has been going for 2 weekends. It's an 8-weekend program where we bring the kids up and we kind of train them and give them some life skills as well. We are capped at 120 youth right now. And then we have about, I'd say, 15 to 16 volunteers, people who've been through the program, and they return to help the program run. And really, without them, it makes it very difficult because we have a short staff that's with the fire department. So when you have 120 youth, you have a lot of responsibility, you have a lot of eyes to look at, you have a lot of folks to make sure they gain some type of knowledge. So there's 4 phases to this. One is phase 1 is the engine company phase, where we teach them about the hydrant, the engine that we actually pull up to a fire, how to pull a hose off. They can feel how the hose feels when it's open. Some other things that we have is what to watch out for, what's safety. Then phase 2 is EMS. Phase 2, they learn CPR, first aid, and AED. And also in phase 2, they get a Citizen Emergency Response Team certificate.
Wow.
So that's 4 weeks of the program where they're in class learning all the stuff that one would need to know if there's hazards, earthquakes, floods, and things like that we were just talking about. The third phase of the program is what we call the ladder part, the truck company. That's how we teach them forcible entry. We teach them how to put the ladders to the buildings, things like that for safety. And our 4th phase which is our leadership class, or leadership phase, where they come in and we have people talking about leadership, how to write resumes, how to do interviews, and all the things that make children or young youth more valuable, and how they can set their life in the right pace to be successful in life.
Wow.
Those are the 4 phases. It's an 8-week program. The 8th weekend is our little graduation where the kids perform and show their family, friends, cousins, and their neighbors how well they did and some of the things that they learned. So this is probably my 8th year involved in it. And the chief that put it together, I think he put it together in 2001. So this is like 18 years later, he's still doing it. So it's amazing that it's lasted this long.
That's great. What has been your success rate in the youth then joining the fire department?
That's hard to say because the youth come from everywhere. Some people get on the fire department and other fire departments. So we know that we've had people in CAL FIRE doing wildland fires. We've had people go to as far away as Atlanta to get on the fire department. There's definitely different places. I mean, some of the people that we worked at, Fremont, California, Glendale, Arizona, Pasadena Fire. So some of the kids actually go to the military. I was surprised at how many young ladies were going into the military, either the Air Force, Navy, and some of them were going to be Marines as well. So you're really surprised. The youth have their own path, but I think with what we do, it helps them give a good foundation to move into any field that they want to. And if they suggest or want to come to the fire service, we try to mentor them and give them guidance on what to do at what stage. And it's a very competitive job that people are trying to get.
Awesome. You know, I love the mentorship because nowadays it's, people don't receive mentorship with regards to making a career choice. They, like you said, they go into the military, they probably meet with a recruiter and go through their testing and that sort of thing, or they, decide to go into the private sector, and there's no sort of mentorship. And I think that it's very important as a career coach when I start to explore people's gifts, talents, and their ability. Sometimes they went to college for something totally different, and it's like, no, this is a better path for you. And I really like the fact that you guys mentor people because I think that a well informed person will be a valuable asset in any organization because they did it by choice and by passion. So that's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about the ideal applicant for the firefighters training program, and what would that look like? Give me a little idea of what the requirements are, so that we can help bring people out in the community and look at this as a viable opportunity for them and their life and their career. And then I'm leaving I'm leaving this out, but I want you to touch on this. I haven't brought it up because I think it's like the major sizzle. I want to talk about the hours. Because I think that's a major marketing point that you guys have that no other organization has. So,
Well, first of all, to be on the fire service, you have to be 18 years of age, high school graduate or GED. You have to have a good credit rating. Basically, if you're 18, you shouldn't have really much credit at all. But if you do, it has to be good. No felonies, healthy, and let's see what else. And you have to have a decent eyesight. You can't be colorblind, things like that, which we can get into later. But we don't discriminate on age, so we've had people as old as 51 get on the fire service, 47 for females. So there's still opportunities down the line for anybody who wants to be. It's very competitive. You will have to be an EMT at some stage, and you will have to pass what they call a physical agility test, and that's called CPAT, C-P-A-T. You can look that up and find out what you have to do to pass the CPAT. Also, you get the background investigation, you get a medical, and some people have to meet with the psych doctor and actually answer some questionnaires. The time, the work hours, basically once you finish the drill tower, which is the academy, it's a 22-week program, and you come into the field, you're on a probation for a year. It requires you to kind of regurgitate a lot of things that you learned in the drill tower. It helps you get more proficient at the tools and equipment that we use. It's basically a jack of all trades or a queen of all trades these days because remember, it's firefighter, not fireman. So this will allow you to go over some of the things that you learned, get more proficient of it. It's a 24-hour shift, and let's say you start your shift on Monday, you would be off Tuesday, you would go in Wednesday, work your 24 hours, then you're off Thursday, and you come in Friday and work that 24-hour shift. Once that is over, you have 4 days off. And if you look at a calendar, we have 3 different shifts, A, B, and C. On the calendars that we have, it's red, blue, and green. And if you count those days over the month, it comes out to about 10 days a month. So that being said, if you work overtime, and overtime is time and a half, you technically can work 5 overtime days in a month and still have 15 days off. You have paid vacation, paid medical, all the benefits that you would have in a big company, life insurance, you have a credit union, everything you need is kind of provided for you. And then you have a bigger family now. You have a family of 3,000, almost 3,500, both sworn and civilian employees that are now part of your family.
Wow. You know, I'm a consultant for a major broadcast company, and they have pretty good benefits. And back in the day, companies did have really good benefits, but a lot of that has changed. And so I want to emphasize to you guys, just from my 25 years of experience working in human resources and recruitment, that paid medical benefits, maybe you guys are 18, 21, 25, are not really thinking that that's a big deal, and you're thinking maybe I'll just opt out of that to get a bigger paycheck. Let me just tell you that for someone who's self-employed like myself, who has a business and who's a consultant and pays probably about $900 for my medical benefits, $900 for my medical benefits a month, and then has to pay a copay and all of that other stuff. seriously, there are some major benefits here. And I know that like 18 to 25-year-olds, you're not really thinking about these things. You're not thinking about a 401k. You're not thinking about a pension, because I do, I work with companies and I help them set up their orientation, and you're not thinking about that. But I want to challenge you to think about this, that if you decide at 18 to do this and save $50 a week, like, what would your retirement look like at 50 years old? So there's a way to create wealth around a great opportunity and a great job that provides you with, a sustainable life and sustainable employment and all of this stuff. I want you to think about that, because there are people who are 40 and 50 and they're like, I'm hitting an age where I don't know what retirement is going to look like, and I can't afford this and I can't afford that. This opportunity here, that if you start early, you could really carve out a really nice life and lifestyle for yourself. Heck, and working 15 days a month, I'll take that. Gerald, I'm going to apply.
Okay, I'll tell you, it's not a bad job. It is a job. It's a manual labor job. It's not always glamorous, because sometimes you're in some dirty places. You're going to learn a lot. I'll tell you something about a lot of different things. You're going to look at the world different. You're going to look at people different. But the same thing, it goes back to being neighborly.
Yes.
You're a person that people will call on because they respect that you have the knowledge to help, and you need to apply that knowledge. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We've had ladies and gentlemen that have been in different parts of the world and have helped rescue people.
Wow.
There was a gentleman that was in Fiji somewhere over there, and the person got bit by a shark, and he did what he was trained to do, and he helped save the leg and save the person's life. So once you become a firefighter, it's not just a 24-hour job. It is all the time, even though when you're living your civilian life, per se, you don't always run into accidents, okay? No one's calling you up for that. But every now and then your neighbor will call you, and your neighbor needs some help, or somebody you know needs some help. So you're there to provide the help, guide them in whatever needs that they need. So mainly, with our organization, we are trying to touch the youth, start people in the right place, the right mindset, and give them another opportunity. And those who are leaving the military as well, they can have the second career, or some people, this is the career. I mean, I was in the movie industry before I got on the fire service, and the movie industry was great to a certain point, but they laid you off. And after you get laid off a few times and have a few weeks of no income, and then that unemployment check is not as big as that check you were getting before, it makes you start realizing, okay, for me, I wanted something steady. I wanted something that I could do for 30 years and not have to worry about my food, shelter, clothing.
Sure. Because
there's a period in time when parents let you leave the house and you're not stable. There's a lot of things that you start thinking about that's not right. So you want to be in a position that your mind is always good and in the right position to make good decisions, right decisions, so you don't get yourself in trouble.
Wow. Gerald, you touched upon a couple of things that I know come up in my coaching practice. You talked about being laid off and with different companies, and you were in the movie industry. But being laid off, I mean, I've been laid off twice, and that's why I decided to have my own practice as a consultant. But a lot of people who are laid off, they begin to feel hopeless because they're applying for jobs, and they just can't find something within their field just because, maybe technology or things are changing. This is a great opportunity for someone to look at after, they have been laid off a couple of times or downsized a couple of times. If you're in shape and, you can pass the physical agility and the mental stamina and all in the background, then this is an opportunity for you to jump back into the game. You don't have to become an Uber driver. I'm not I'm not bashing Uber drivers at all, but I know so many people just settle for just any sort of job. I mean, I go to career fairs and it's like I hear people say, I'll do anything. Well, you know what? Do something for yourself. Look at this opportunity as another way to have, maybe it's not glamorous, but you know what? It doesn't have to be glamorous because it will provide you with an opportunity to provide for your family or your livelihood. The other thing that you mentioned was going to other countries. This is a job, unlike so many jobs that are out there, that is transferable. You can live in LA, you can go to New Orleans, you can go to Atlanta, you can go to another country. This is a transferable job. Unlike me as a recruiter, maybe they recruit differently in England, maybe they do things differently. I mean, I have some transferable skills in other countries and obviously within the U.S., but this is a transferable job. There's some really exciting, maybe you're thinking maybe being in dirt is not sexy, but I'm thinking that sustainability is sexy to me. So this job is really a great opportunity. And then you touched upon the military. There's so many people who reach out to me who leave the military. I have a military family. Both my boys are in the military that leave, and they're like, well, what can I do now? Because private companies don't understand their job or their scope or the type of things that they did, and it's not totally transferable into private sector. And so this is a great opportunity for you to jump back in, being an active person, because obviously if you're in the military, you're active, and then create another a second career opportunity for yourself. So there's a lot of, in my mind, sizzle and good things about your program and what you're doing, and also the people who might be interested in this opportunity. So for my listening audience, tell people how they can get in touch with you, tell people what they can do, where they can apply, and so that they know how to find these jobs.
Okay, for the Los Angeles City Fire Department, you will go to joinlafd.org. You'll be able to navigate that website. It'll tell you a lot about the fire service and what the City of Los Angeles requires for the job. The Stentorian organization is here at 1409 West Vernon, 90062. You can look us up on our website, which is City Stentorians. Okay, you could also call us at our office. Our office number is 323-294-4143. Our email address is Stentorians, STENTORINS dot STAFT, which is staff, at gmail.com.
Awesome.
The website is
go ahead.
lacitycentorians.org. That's where we'll take in your name. We'll talk to you about it. I think when you look at becoming a firefighter for the City of Los Angeles or any fire department, I hope you are ready to challenge yourself to the most challenging career path ever. And that's really where we sometimes lose people. They're not ready for the challenge. Prepare and challenge yourself. This is a job you have to say, because of the competition, you have to always believe that you are the best, and you will be at the top of your class, the top of everything you do. We, as mentors, we will help you get there. If you're willing to put in the time, you're willing to put in the effort, you're willing to focus, you're willing to be the person that is not going to accept average. But we're average people. We just do sometimes extraordinary things. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And it's the Stentorians on Instagram, LA City Stentorians on Instagram. And Facebook, I believe, is the same thing. So for those who are interested, contact us, reach out to us, navigate the website to make sure you know everything that the City of Los Angeles requires. We are here to help you get to those requirements and do what you have to do. plus we have another group of people that are actually out here mentoring people every single day. So let's get ready for the challenge, and I know if I can do it, you can do it as well. We need women, we need men, because the future of the fire department is with you, and that's how we grow. Come on, let's join the force.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so very much. Do you guys have any career events, job fairs coming up anytime soon?
We don't, but you have to stay with us. You got to watch us. We're recruiting every day, so keep in touch. And when we do, we'll let you know. Come on out. Hopefully we'll have something soon. We're taking a little trip, and I think we'll be back near the end of the month. But look for something in November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, and July.
Well,
with your help, we can get the word out, and we want the people to come out.
Oh, yeah.
And believe, you live in the city of Los Angeles. What a better way to give back to your city, your community, and do something different. If you are the type of person that understands your social contract with the neighborhood that you grew up in, it's your duty to learn, to get educated, and then return and give some of that education and that knowledge back to your community.
I love that. Social contract. You guys hear that? I love that. I am going to be sharing more and more information, and Gerald and I will stay in touch, and you'll hear more about the organization and events, and come on out and share. Even if you are a listener to the Good News radio station or AskZena and you're not sure if this is for you, get in touch with me. I'll get you in touch with Gerald. But also just go down there and check them out. Check out what they're doing, how they're serving the community. I mean, that's what we're here about. We're here about serving, building our community, building it back up. Like, don't get caught up in the government and all of the stuff and all that negativity. See how you can impact the community and how you can leave a footprint here, a positive footprint here on this planet right here, right now, in these times that we're in. I thank you so very much for joining me. Thank you so very much for sharing, Gerald. If you need me for anything with recruitment, with coaching, with workshops, you have my information. Please call me. I am more than willing to be of service to help. I think that you coming out today and talking about this opportunity sheds a lot of light with regards to what's all available and becoming a firefighter. Thank you so very much for joining me. Hey.
Oh, you're welcome.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to challenge you, Zena. Let's have breakfast with the firefighters down here at the Stentorian Center. So let's look at some dates, let's set up something, and have your audience. Let's get all together. Let's have some breakfast, and let's talk some of the firefighters.
You know what? Just give me the day, and I will be there. I promise you I will be there. Work it out, and I promise you I will be there. Hey, and enjoy your trip. Going to Africa. Yay! Have a good day. Thank you for listening to the Good News radio station. This is AskZena. Have a wonderful day.